with Simply Beads Kit of the Month Club. Today I'd like to show you how to use the 4-in-1 beading tool and velour beading mat that you received with your first Simply Beads Kit of the Month Club kit. This tool serves all the functions a beginner beader needs to learn the basics of beading. The soft velour mat keeps your beads from rolling away and is a great surface to work on. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to make a simple loop and how to manipulate wire. I'll also show you how to open and close jump rings, how to cut wire, and how to flatten crimp beads, all with your 4-in-1 tool. There are 3 areas of the 4-in-1 tool. This first area is the round nose pliers. The round nose pliers are used to manipulate wire and to flatten crimp beads. This area is the loop closer, which we'll use when we close jump rings and other loops. This is the cutter. It can cut beading wire, craft wire, and other materials too. Now let's get started with the 4-in-1 tool. We'll start by making a simple loop. Practice along with me. To create a loop, we will use a beaded head pin and our 4-in-1 tool. Begin by holding your beaded head pin in one hand. Be sure to hold the beads down with your thumbnail and keep your thumbnail against the head pin. Now, grasp the head pin with the tip of your tool right above the beads and bend the head pin to a 90-degree angle. Using the cutter part of the 4-in-1 tool, trim your wire to about 1/4 of an inch. To create the loop, place your thumb at the top of the beads and against the head pin. Make sure your thumb is pointed away from you and your head pin is pointed toward you. Grasp the end of the head pin with the round nose pliers of your tool. Where you grasp the wire with the tool will determine the size of your loop. I recommend you grasp between the top and the middle. Now, roll the tool with the wire. To create the loop, try to roll the wire as straight as possible. You may need to remove the tool and replace it into the loop to continue closing it. Once your loop is made, you can adjust it to your liking. With simple chain loops, you can create dangles for necklaces or earrings, chain links, or bails for pendants. Next, we'll talk about flattening crimp beads. Flattening crimp beads is an essential part of making jewelry, and it's easy to do with your 4-in-1 tool. We'll use the round nose pliers part of your 4-in-1 tools to flatten the crimp beads. When beginning or ending a piece of jewelry, you will want to crimp a clasp onto the ends. Flattened crimp beads basically keep your jewelry from falling apart. The crimps secure the beads and clasps onto the wire. To begin, string a crimp bead and half of your clasp onto your wire. Bend the wire and go back through the crimp bead. When ending a string of beads, such as on a necklace or bracelet, make sure your crimp bead is right up against the last bead. Be careful not to leave any gaps. Pull the wire tail so you have a very small loop from crimp to clasp. Grasp the crimp bead with the round nose pliers and gently squeeze until flattened. Release the pliers and pull the tail to make sure the wire is secured. Now you can trim the wire using your cutter. If the wire is not secured, adjust the wire, grasp the crimp bead again with the round nose pliers and gently squeeze. Then trim the tail. We'll also use the round nose pliers on the 4-in-1 tool to open and close jump rings. With one hand, hold the jump ring on one side with the opening at the top. Grasp the other half of the jump ring with the round nose pliers of your 4-in-1 tool. Twist the 2 sides away from each other gently. You can now attach a charm or clasp to your jump ring. To close the jump ring, twist each side back together. You can wiggle the 2 sides as you gently push inward to get them closer to each other. You can also use the loop closer section of your 4-in-1 tool to push the 2 sides of the jump rings together. To close a jump ring or a loop, simply close the loop closer around the jump ring fitting each side of the jump ring into the grooves. Be sure that the opening is out and visible. Gently squeeze until the ends come together. Now release pressure on the tool. Check to see that the opening is closed. If it isn't, you can repeat this process until you are satisfied. The last area of our 4-in-1 tool is the cutter. This cutter is designed to cut through materials that beaders most frequently use. It easily cuts through large gauge craft wires. It cleanly cuts through beading wire. It even cuts through suede. As you can see, the beading mat has helped keep the beading materials in place throughout this video and has been a nice resting surface for my hands. The soft color is great to show a variety of beads. And best of all, you can take this ideal work surface with you everywhere you bead. Thanks for joining me today. I hope it makes you feel creative and confident as you start beading. If you would like to receive Simply Beads Kit of the Month Club kits, visit our website at simplybeadskitclub.com, or you can call our toll-free number 1-800-282-6643.